Well, there's been plenty of talk about Kemba Walker joining the Celtics, but in their introductory press conference, we also got to meet Enes Kanter for the first time here in Boston, and he definitely has a personality. Here at the Auerbach Center, I'm Sierra Goodwill with Scott Souza. Scott, what do you feel, first impressions, personality-wise, about Kanter?
Well, personality-wise, Enes Kanter is going to be a big hit in terms of, and he wasn't shy about a lot of things today. Came right out with the Kyrie Irving statement. Why did he choose number 11?
Exactly.
He wants to be the reason no one wears it again. He felt he had to say it. But, you know, we talked about a number of things today that were interesting. Talked about Tom Brady a little bit. Talked about some of the political issues that he's had in the past. He claims that he's going to be meeting with Senator Ed Markey in terms of the relationship with the United States and Turkey and the Turkish government. He does say that he believes he will be able to play in games in Toronto, which is a big thing for Celtics fans and obviously the NBA. But obviously he's a complex guy, an interesting guy, and also a guy who was a former number 3 overall pick. He's a guy who fell underneath the radar, I think, a little bit, along with some of these other guys in the NBA over the last couple of years. And he's a guy who the Celtics are expecting to take on a huge role on the court this year, because he's not just replacing one player in the front court. In a lot of ways, he's replacing 2.
Right. Well, there's been a lot of talk about Kanter's rebounding and ability to score. That's not the issue. The issue more is with his defense and ability to shoot from the three-point line. Now, Brad Stevens did say that he saw him shooting in here for a couple days now and was really impressed. So is Kanter enough to replace the losses of Al Horford, Aron Baynes? Is he enough for this Celtics front court?
I don't think he's quite enough, but you know, he talked a little bit during his media scrum afterwards about developing that three-point shot and knowing that that's the direction the NBA is going in. And we've seen players over the last couple of years, whether it be Brook Lopez or Al Horford, later in their careers develop that three-point shot. You know, offensively, you mentioned he's a threat. He was an 18-10 guy just a couple of years ago, so he's been a very good player. I think defensively is really where he is going to be tested, this team is going to be tested, because Robert Williams is a shot blocker, but he was not a great defender, not a great plus-minus guy last year. Kanter's going to have to improve. You're going to have a smaller lineup, because a lot of times on this team, you're probably going to be having Gordon Hayward or Jason Tatum playing the 3. You still have Daniel Tice, but he has defensive limitations. So unless you're planning on Taco Fall playing big minutes or getting big minutes out of Vincent Poirier, who's kind of a big, rugged guy, I think defense is where Kanter's really going to be tested the most, and where Brad Stevens is going to be tested figuring out how to use him.
And in the press conference, Kanter said the first guy to reach out to him from the Celtics when he was trying to make his decision was Kemba Walker. So when he was introduced with Kemba tonight, it kind of felt like Gordon and Kyrie of a couple years ago, but
don't say that, Sierra. My gosh, that is not the endorsement that we were looking for.
I know, but a step down in talent, but kind of a step up in chemistry. Obviously, we didn't know what was coming down the line when Kyrie and Gordon had their press conference. What is your expectations for these two this season together?
Well, at least Kemba didn't turn to him and say it's going to be crazy, E. But I think they're going to work well together. I think Brad Stevens is very intrigued by what he'll be able to get out of Enes Kanter. Enes Kanter as a center in terms of his passing ability, in terms of his scoring ability, and I think they're also very excited about Kemba being more of a distributor than he was in Charlotte in the past. In Charlotte, he had to take all those shots. We saw Kyrie Irving during his time here kind of go back and forth between being a very good distributor and somebody who kind of hijacked the offense at times. I think they're hoping that Kemba will be able to skate his lane and make everybody on the team better, and that includes, an inside-outside game with Kanter.
Well, for all of our Celtics off-season coverage, head to our website at clnsmedia.com and subscribe to our YouTube channel at CLNS Media.